Well, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Yoda's Hut. I'm Bill. I go by Yodaman on the boards. And this is a game where I played a community suggested deck that was submitted on the thread I posted before out at Gamers Armory in Cary, North Carolina. I'm playing a Smuggler's Rebel deck submitted by Boba Fett against Justin, who is playing a Sith deck. So the deck suggested by Boba Fett had two of that bucket of bolts, that new Falcon. One, prepare for evacuation, which is the vehicle protectors there. Two of turning the tide, the new Akbar set. Two of attack pattern Delta. Two of rogue squadron assault, and one blue squadron support. Justin's deck was a Sith deck that actually did not have Palpatine. He had two of Vader, two Council, two Mara, two Executor, and two of Gurkhan pick set. So it looks like we've got started here. Justin's objectives to start are Council of the Sith, Follow the Jedi, and Executor arrives. And I actually started with Turning the Tide, Attack Pattern Delta, and Rogue Squadron Assault. And Justin is going to start his turn playing an Advisor to the Emperor with his first turn, a Sith Library following that up. I usually like to play the regular resources first, but he chose to play the Advisor first. And then an ISB Liaison. So he's got a couple chuds out on the board early. He's managed to play 3 cards out of his hand. Looks like he's going to go to Force Phase, just commit the Advisor to have 2 icons on there. It's usually good against Rebel vehicles. I tried to trigger Attack Pattern Delta at the end of his phase and unfortunately did not draw anything. And he's going to pass turn to me, it looks like. So at this point, I can see some Rogue Squadron X-Wings in my hand. I don't appear to have well paid. But hopefully I can get a couple ships out and maybe do some damage here to the dark side objectives. Resources would also be helpful since I don't have a well paid in my hand, or I would have probably played that already. And I guess I'm also trying to decide at this point what should I consider discarding, so I'll have a chance to trigger attack pattern Delta again after that. So I'm gonna discard. It looks like I discarded a B-wing maybe. I tried to hit attack pattern Delta again. I did not draw anything. So I'm going to start by playing a Snowspeeder Launch Bay to get a resource out. That lets you, if you strike with a speeder, do it damage to a vehicle unit. And a Pilot Ready Room. Looks like I accidentally paid with a Pilot Ready Room with itself. And then a Rogue Squadron X-Wing. See if I remember to trigger Rogue Squadron Assault after playing the ship. And it actually looks like I forgot to do that. I haven't played with vehicles in a while at this point when playing this suggested deck by Boba Fett, so I should have one more card for the edge battle, but I'm going to swing in with the Rogue Squadron X-Wing, probably at Council here, and Justin's going to have to decide if he wants to defend against that with the Advisor, which would end up leaving the Advisor double focused, or the ISB guy. So it looks like I just drew a card. Maybe Justin let me go ahead and draw with Rogue Squadron Assault since I actually hadn't played anything else since then. And yeah, I think if you're Justin, you're probably better off letting this go unopposed, because if I happen to have a stay on target, even the Advisor's tactics aren't going to help unless he has a couple heats that he could shoot first and take out that X-Wing. It's just going to survive. So he's going to let me swing, do 2 damage. I did not have any tricks up my sleeve, so I will pass turn to Justin. The dial is going to move up to 3, but at least I've gotten some resources out here and might be able to have a better second turn. Justin also has quite a few resources out with Executor Arrives. He's got 7 actually if he wants to use both on that and the Advisor. And he is going to drop Darth Vader. Darth Vader is certainly always a powerful unit to hit the board. Trying to decide, I think, if he wants to use both on Executor Arrives or maybe split it up to save some resources for next turn. I gotta think, if I was in his position, I would try to save the resources unless I had something I immediately wanted to play. And yes, he's going to do that. So he does still have the one resource with the Advisor. So an aggression or something like that right here could just get my X-Wing off the board. Or he might just kind of choose to sit back since Vader's a pretty good defender. Even though the Rogue Squadron X-Wings have 3 hulls with Vader out, he's got two guns, and if you can get his reaction to go off with some kind of event, then you could make use of that. So, gonna try to trigger Rogue Squadron Assault. Looks like, or Attack Pattern Delta, I should say, and it did not go off again. So Justin is past turn. I'm gonna get to refresh everything. Got to take one off the X-wing. That would be helpful. Probably got to think I'll discard something here unless I've got a bunch of things in my hand to do damage. I'm going to try to hit Attack Pattern Delta after a draw. Did not hit again, so 0 for 3 so far. Actually, it might even be 0 for 4 if I think about it. So I am going to play another Rogue Squadron X-Wing, draw a card. So at least I'll have a chance to try Attack Pattern Delta again next turn. Play another Rogue Squadron X-Wing. So I've got 3 out. That's a pretty good swarm. And one of the vehicle protectors. So that will help a little bit against any kind of beta reactions that Justin may have up his sleeve here. So I probably am going to spread out the damage a little bit with those Rogue Squadron X-Wings here. See if I can get 1 or 2 in. It'd be really good if I had a pilot I could drop in with a stay on target, but so far it doesn't seem like I have any, or otherwise I might have been able to put one out that turn thanks to the pilot ready room discount. So we're going to conflict, and I am swinging in with one of the Rogue Squadron X-Wings, and he's defending with Vader. Looks like he pitched a Vader. I only had 2, so he's going to win the edge battle and shoot my Rogue Squadron X-Wing for 2, but I should be able to get a shot off thanks to that protector. So he's going to swing, hit my X-Wing for 2. And I think he force choked Vader and actually hit the X-Wing. And then I'm sitting here thinking after that maybe I want to protect that. It might have been too quick to move it away. Yep, I'm going to actually reconsider that protect since we hadn't done anything else and keep that X-Wing alive. So I will get to shoot with it this time, do a damage to the objective, and actually ping Vader for 1 more damage. And where to put the damage? I guess I attacked Executor Riser. Now it looks like I'm going to swing with both of the Rogue Squadron X-Wings, probably after Council, to try to get that off the table. And we'll see if Justin defies to defend with that advisor. Again, the advisor would probably die even if he could tactics one of the ships down, and the ISB guy might die too. So he can't use Vader's reaction as he already tried to use it. That vehicle protector came in handy for me for a second. And looks like Justin's actually just going to let it go, so I'm going to get to blow up Council of the Sith. That's always good to get off the board. And I've got 1 objective down pretty early in the game with the dial only at 3, but I'm not going to be able to take the force back because of the advisor, and dial is going to go up to 5 as I pass turn to Justin here. And I only have 1 defender, the Renegade Squadron Escort, which protects, and that may die really quickly if Justin has any kind of event that he could trigger with Vader. Justin flipped up Agent of the Emperor, so if he can get some Sith cards out, then he can start committing my units too, so when I'd have to double focus if I struck, and although I could clear them off by getting rid of a pilot, but makes it a little tougher to strike repeatedly with those Rogue Squadron X-Wings. So he is going to sacrifice the ISB Liaison, look at the top card of my deck, and then he will get to draw a card there, so maybe he's trying to see if he can fish for something good. I attempted to use Rogue or Attack Pattern Delta, and again did not hit. I've yet to hit in this game, which I think is up to 5 times now. So Attack Pattern Delta is great when it goes off, and when you don't hit anything, you do know the next card you're getting at least, but sometimes that doesn't matter. So looks like Justin's going to play Mara with her lightsaber. Spend 4 resources for Mara and then 1 for the lightsaber. And he's going to use both of Executor Rod's resources here. So that's going to make, actually he's not going to, he only used 1. No, he's changed my A is going to use 2. So he's left a couple resources open, which means he probably wanted to make sure if he had some kind of event, I guess if he had something like Rage, he could pay for it with the advisor since it's a Sith and the Sith library. And I gotta think he's gonna swing here with Mara to try to help get some damage on my X-Wing, maybe take it out, or even get a protector on the board. Give Mara a shield. The protector could turn off a gun if I win edge, but Mara would still have 2 guns there. So he is going to send Mara in. Not sure what he's attacking. He's going to probably trying to consider his options. He's going to swing after attack pattern delta. Maybe he's figuring I haven't been lucky yet, but I'm probably due to finally hit one. My guess is I'm probably not going to defend here. I'll let him swing for 3. So he gets 3 guns. I'm going to actually take 2 on one of the Rogue Squadron X-Wings. Or am I going to let it die? Trying to think here. It looks like I'm going to go ahead and, yep, take 2 on the X-Wing and sacrifice the Protector. He will get 2 damage on attack pattern delta. So he's made some headway towards that. And looks like he's still in the engagement. He hasn't moved Merritt back yet, so I wonder if he does have Rage in his hand, which would allow him to swing again and take out some other things. Yep, he's got Rage. He's going to get to clear off Mara. He's going to shoot the X-Wing that didn't have any damage on it, trigger Vader's reaction to take out another X-Wing, and with her 2 objective damage, take attack pattern delta out at the same time, get to 6. So Mara and Rage just did an incredible job clearing off my board. I went from having 4 units, 3 of them which were Rogue Squadron X-Wings, to having 1 Rogue Squadron X-Wing with 2 damage on it that would die very quickly if he happens to have another event that he could play with Vader before I could get something out. He does still have Vader left to defend. Vader has 2 damage, but unless I have a heat or something else that I can get damage on Vader with, Vader will kill that X-Wing if that's the only thing I have to do. So, Justin is pointing at Agent the Emperor. I think he's trying to decide, is he allowed to commit that? And he actually, the way the rules are, you can't commit Mara when she has her lightsaber on with a force cart because she's considered committed already. So he won't be able to trigger Agent of the Emperor. That's a pretty subtle distinction, but important there of how those interactions work. So I'm going to flip up a new objective. I actually flipped up another Turning the Tide. He is going to force choke Mara right after I refresh, trigger Vader's reaction, and kill that last Rogue Squadron X-Wing. So what started off looking good last turn with some damage I got blowing up Council, spreading around, has basically turned into me having no units on the board, and Sith control being played by Justin here is in complete control of the board state right now. Looks like I drew another one of the protector vehicles. Some other things here maybe. Only having 1 smuggler resource may not be the best situation to be in here. So I have a feeling I didn't draw much. I had good units out before for this kind of deck, and now I may have hit one of those draws where there's just not a lot I can do. I do have 6 resources out. I do have the possibility of a pilot discount should I play one, but that's probably not the best situation to be in right now. So at this point, Justin really is in a very strong position. The dial's already at 6. He's pulling up an objective. He's got Mara and Vader on the board who could easily swing and take out another objective so he chooses. So I'm actually going to play Pilot Han as a pilot, or as a, not as a pilot, but as a unit. Does have the black tactics there. I should have been able to get a discount. I guess I forgot that when you play him as a unit, you still could take the discount. I paid the full 4 for him. And I really could have just got by with playing 3. It may have made a difference there, that mistake of not catching. I could have had the discount. It doesn't look like I've caught it. Maybe Justin didn't catch it either. And I'm not playing anything else. I gotta think I'm not really gonna swing here. Yep, I'm just gonna pass turn. I don't want to take the chance of Han getting taken out. At least Han does leave me a defender here. With the pilot, Han has 3 health, so that's good. He's got 2 guns of tactics and a white blast. So he's got basically the same stats as the original Han, more health, but the ability doesn't help you on the ground. He's out there. So the dial has gone up to 8. I don't even have attack pattern dealt out anymore to try, even though it was pretty unlucky for me at this point that I didn't draw anything. Justin only has 5 resources now. If he chooses to use the advisor, he's actually going to play another advisor out, get more tactics. So he could potentially try to tactics down my Han and then maybe swing with Mara to take Han out. And it's probably considering his options here of does he even really need to attack? He's got complete control of the board, complete control of the force. It looks like he's going to go ahead and swing anyway. He must have a way to maybe figure he can get Han off the board or at least get Han locked down as a pilot, and then he'll be useless because unless he dies, there's no way I can bring him back onto a ship since I don't have that bucket of bolts out, which would have allowed me to do that should I draw a pilot. So it looks like we're going to conflict, and I'm actually going to play rapid fire after he declared his advisor, I think, as an attacker. That will allow me to do a damage to a unit. I gotta think I'm gonna hit the advisor, and then maybe then I'd have a choice. Do I want to actually defend with Han and maybe focus Mara down? But if I do that, he could focus Han down with the other advisor. If I don't, but that would at least keep him alive. He does still have resources left, so I might have been thinking I don't really want to focus Mara down and leave Han exposed because he might just rage on Mara again. So I think I am considering whether or not I want to defend. And in this board state, I guess you could take the chance of locking down Mara, at least force him to use rage if he has it, or just sit back and try to keep the guy out. So looks like I'm actually going to choose not to defend, just use rapid fire to avoid the tactics. And that actually might be a good call, because then if he decides to attack with Mara, I might be able to win the edge battle and kill her, or at least keep her from striking without using a rage. Um, and then I could even, depending on what happens, or I could potentially tactics the advisor too, to keep his tactics off the board. So if I'm Justin at this point, I think I might sit back and just pass turn and not bother attacking because the dial's at 8. I'm unlikely to get the force backs, which means the dial should go to 10 next turn. And then he just need to take out one objective with Mara and Vader. That might not be too difficult. And he could just win on his turn. So he is going to pass turn to me. I discarded what looked like maybe was a supporting fire. And I'm going to drop. I see a snow speeder. See another ship. Let's see if there's anything I can get out here. So I'm going to play Blue Leader. So Blue Leader is pretty good. He's got a couple blasts. He can ping another objective. Paid 3 for him. Got to draw a card with Rogue Squadron Assault. So I know I see that speeder in my hand. I'm not sure what other units I may have. It's a kind of a shame at my position that I was not able to keep any of those Rogue Squadron X-Wings on the board before I could get them refreshed. And I'm going to play Admiral Akbar for 3, so he's got some tactics that could help there. Akbar gives a bonus if your vehicles, well, rebel vehicles are attacking missions, but I'm not drawing any missions in this deck. So at this point, I guess I have a couple choices. I could try to attack. There's no way I'm going to be able to win this turn. I could also just try to sit back and defend. I couldn't even take the force back, but at least if I leave Akbar and Han out, I've got some potential for tactics that maybe I could prevent him from winning on his turn. And then if I can manage to keep him alive, take one last swing on my turn when it comes back around again. So I guess I am pondering here, realizing I'm not in the best position. I am going to just go ahead and pass turn, let the dial tick to 10, and I guess kind of hope that I can hold Justin off here. Maybe get one more chance to swing, maybe draw a couple more units, pitch some cards that might not be as useful in my hand, and take my chances. But now I have a couple characters out which are even more vulnerable to force chokes and rages. Mara Invader certainly can do some damage. He does only need to get one objective here. So he has enough blast potentially if he can kill all of my things, which would probably be easier said than done. Now I know he's playing Dark Precognition. He's going to get to do it damage. With Vader's reaction, he chooses to do it to Akbar. That does keep me from having a resource there. It's like I'm looking through stuff trying to see. Oh, I think I was actually rearranging stuff for a different deck I was going to play later there. I was wondering what I was looking through, so that's not my hand or anything. Just kind of biding some time while Justin decides if he wants to go ahead and attack and try to win here or just take his chances and holding me off. So he's played an ISB liaison. Gives him the capability to try to draw another card. And he's still got these options here of does he want to swing and try to end the game here? Does he want to just sit back because unless I can get both objectives on my turn, he's just going to win as the dial clicks up to 12 next time anyway. He's still got quite a few resources open if he needs them. Looks like he's going to actually pass turn. He might just play the advisor so he can draw an extra card that may give him more than one icon if he needs it on his turn. And at this point, I pretty much have to swing for the fences because there's probably no way I'm going to be able to get the force back here. And so without doing that and with nothing like nudges in my deck, there's going to be no way I can even bump the dial back down. So I'm going to play a Renegade Squadron Export Protector to at least help protect that B-Wing and get to draw a card. Looks like I see Hobby in my hand, who would be a lot more helpful if one of those Rogue Squadron X-Wings were out. Although I could play him for free at least, but his 3 icons would be much better in an edge battle at this point. And I am going to actually play Hobby as a unit, which, thanks to the discount, he should only count 1. I remembered to do it that time. So he does have a blast, but he's force choke fodder for Vader here. Looking at the board, I played Rogue 2 and Hobby as well. So trying to figure out if there's any way I can potentially swing and get some damage in here. I really don't think there's any way I can get enough damage in here unless I have a target in my hand to blow up 2 objectives and kill his Mara Invader before I get all my shots off. So looks like I'm swinging with Han, Blue Leader, Akbar, and the Protector. And Justin needs to decide what he wants to do here. He can't really block. Well, he could let it go, I guess. But if he lets it go, I'm going to get to tactics things down with Akbar in hand. So he's probably going to want to block with something. Maybe Mara, since she has the shield, to try to stop the tactics that I have, since I have the potential for 2 black tactics right now with Akbar and Han. Of course, Akbar, he could just force choke and kill too. So Justin doesn't have really that tough of a decision. You got to defend. It's a matter of who you're defending with. So looks like he's definitely going to defend with Mara, and he might even be considering defending with Vader too. Just put an extra blocker out there. I think if you're going to do that, you might as well put the ISB guy in there as well, just to get a third body on the board. Leave the advisor back to help keep the force just in case. So, yep, he's going to defend with Mara and Vader. Try to decide if he wants to shield Mara, shield Vader. He could shield whatever objective I'm going after, too. Looks like he's still pondering. He's sort of got it on Vader, but he's thinking maybe he wants to do Mara. Could still do the objective. Sometimes when you have options with the shields, especially this board state where both Vader and Mara have only 2 health left, Mara does have the potential for more guns. He's going to choose to commit Vader. Looks like we're each putting a few cards in. I have a feeling he probably twisted. Yep, he twisted me, so that wasn't going to help. I put my last card in. I had a few, and he's got way more than me with, looks like heat of battle and other kind of stuff. So he's going to take out, double heat takes out blue leader. Going to shoot Han with Mara. And looks like I've scooped there. So I started off with a decent start, but didn't get very lucky with attack pattern Delta. And then Mara and Rage just kind of wiped my board there between that and Vader's reaction. So that matchup, the Sith control stuff, kind of got the right units in play to take care of that Smuggler Rebel build with the new Han with well-paid, which I never saw any of those either. So the slower start I had, the fact I wasn't drawing pilots with ships certainly didn't help me. But it was well played by Justin there, making use of his big units, their reactions, the lightsabers, the events, rage, to win that game. So thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more episodes coming soon.